Today, we're going to recap the 2013 war and action movie based on a true-life story titled Lone Survivor. The movie begins when an injured American soldier named Marcus is brought back to the Navy base on a helicopter. 3 days earlier, we see Danny racing his team leader Mike around the base. Mike eventually wins the race at the last second. Afterward, another teammate named Marcus chimes in, stating that the margin was minimal. Matt, another soldier on the team, joins them and suggests a punishment for the loser, so they all decide to shave Danny's head. Sometime later, Mike's squad is called to a meeting where they would be briefed on their next mission. At the meeting, they're informed that their mission is to capture and kill a senior Taliban commander named Ahmad Shah. Ahmad Shah is notorious for killing Marines in eastern Afghanistan, along with villagers who helped the American soldiers in any way. Looking at the screen, the soldiers notice that Ahmad doesn't have earlobes, so they keep that in mind as a possible form of identification. Soon, the caption explains the plans to the rest of the team. The operation will be quick and they would have response teams waiting for them, but they would also have to be very careful because communication in that area might be difficult. For this mission, Mike and his team would take the lead, so they gear up and prepare themselves. A while later, 2 Apache helicopters arrive to transport the soldiers. They're dropped off in the region after dark and begin walking toward the village where Ahmad allegedly set up his base. As they get closer to the village, the signals get more and more jammed, making it almost impossible for them to communicate with the base. Soon, they reach the outskirts of the village where they position themselves where they can observe the village. They spot Ahmad and identify him by his lack of earlobes, but also soon discover that the enemy troops are a lot more than they anticipated. The chief sniper Marcus has Ahmad on his radar, but doesn't get a clear shot, so he and the rest of the team wait for a better opportunity. While hiding under the bushes, 3 herders and their goats come across them, so the soldiers. As a result, Mike and his squad are forced to capture them to prevent Ahmad from finding out about them. Danny tries to contact the base, but the jammed signal prevents them from communicating. Now that the mission has been compromised, the soldiers are not sure what to do. Matt feels they should kill the herders because they are also part of the Taliban. However, Marcus points out that Ahmad would retaliate if he found any of his men killed by American soldiers. As the two argue, Mike gives the final instruction and orders them to abort the mission and return to the mountain peak where they would call an extraction team. Following Mike's orders, they release the young Talibans and head up to the mountains, but Marcus still has a feeling that their decision might backfire. The moment the soldiers leave, the boys run back to the village. One in particular is so fast, and in no time he's down there to inform Ahmad about the soldiers. Meanwhile, up on the mountain, Danny tries to contact the base a second time, but unfortunately the signal is still jammed and he's unable to. Realizing that the top is a very unsafe place to be stranded, Mike and his team return to the tree lines where they hope to wait till sunset before continuing their escape on foot. Meanwhile, back at the base, the commander grows increasingly worried that Mike's team has missed 3 communication windows, so he decides to inform the higher-ups that the mission has been compromised. Back in the tree lines, Mike and his team continue to keep watch. Matt notices some movement afar, so Mike gives to check it out. He finds out that the Taliban are approaching their location and informs the others that they would soon be surrounded by them in a short while. The team knows that it would be game over for them if they're cornered by the Taliban, so they attack to reduce the numbers. Marcus, who is a skilled sniper, takes the first shot and kills one of the Talibans. This causes them to know their exact location and a shootout begins. The two forces unleash a barrage of gunshots on each other, and Mike's team manages to reduce the number of Talibans that are after them. Unfortunately, the thing they feared becomes inevitable because the enemy forces arrive with machine guns and unleash an onslaught on them. The numerous attacks come from several directions, leaving Mike and his squad with no choice but to take cover under some rocks. In the crossfire, their radio is destroyed and they suffer some injuries. Mike concludes that they need to escape, so he instructs his team to move right. Unfortunately, they quickly find out that it was a big mistake because that's when the Taliban begin using rocket launchers to attack them. Desperate to escape, the team jumps off a steep hill, and as they tumble down the rocky terrain, they suffer some more injuries. They manage to regroup, but the Talibans find them once again. Danny gets shot in the leg and shoulder, and as the others run deeper into the bushes to escape, he finds it difficult to move and is about to accept his fate. However, Mike drags him back to their cover. His injuries are severe and Danny yells in pain, giving the enemies their location. In a matter of moments, they're about to be surrounded again, so the team decides to jump down another cliff. Danny gets shot again when Marcus tries to carry him down the cliff. The impact causes Marcus to lose his footing, so he falls off the cliff, leaving Danny at the top. Hiding among the rocks below, Marcus, Matt, and Mike decide to go back and get Danny. Matt shoots and kills all the approaching enemies, while Mike prepares to climb up to look for a signal. Before leaving, he gives Marcus his spare ammo. Mike and Marcus cover him as he crawls to the top. By some miracle, he finally gets a signal, so he contacts the base and requests immediate assistance. Unfortunately, as soon as he makes the call, he's shot dead by the Taliban, and Danny is also killed the same way. The base sends 2 Chinook helicopters to assist the 2 remaining soldiers. It turns out that their Apache helicopters are on another mission, so they'd have to make do with the Chinook helicopters, even though they're not properly suited for the mission at hand. Meanwhile, still hiding under the rocks, Matt, who is badly injured, believes that he's going to die next, so he asks Marcus to help him tell his wife that he loves her. Marcus refuses to relay the message and encourages Matt to hold on a little longer. Thankfully, the helicopters arrive just in time to assist. Seeing the helicopters gives Matt a reason not to give up hope. Unfortunately, this rejuvenated hope is quickly dashed again when the Taliban fire missiles at them. One of the Chinook helicopters is then shot by an RPG launcher before it blows up on a cliff, killing all the soldiers on board. After witnessing this, the other helicopter flies away so it doesn't get blown up as well, leaving Marcus and Matt to their fate once again. Soon, Matt gets shot again and eventually dies. Afterward, Marcus is shot with a rocket launcher by the relentless Taliban. He manages to find a gap in the rocks to hide from the enemies that are searching for him. After the Taliban fail to find him, they disperse, and the Apache helicopter finally arrives afterward. Spotting no enemies around, the helicopter flies away. Marcus just looks on from his hiding spot before passing out shortly after. The next day, Marcus wakes up feeling excruciating pain from the injuries he suffered the previous day. He limps to a pond where he drinks water to quench his thirst. There, he's startled by some villagers. Seeing this, he threatens them with a grenade, but the one named Gulab offers to help him and explains that they mean no harm. Afterward, Gulab takes him back to his house in the village, but one of the villagers is upset that Gulab is helping an American soldier. He reminds him that Ahmad and his Taliban would wipe them out if he finds out that he's harboring a U.S. Marine. Despite not understanding their language, Marcus threatens them with the grenade once again. He's not sure why Gulab is helping him, but he gives him a letter to deliver to the nearest U.S. airbase to inform them of his location. Meanwhile, the Talibans find Marcus's trail of blood and follow it to Gulab's village. Gulab tries to deceive them, but they find Marcus inside. They drag him out to a lawn where they intend to decapitate him, but just when they're about to behead him, Gulab and the others threaten the Taliban with guns and send them away. They return to the village with Marcus, but are extremely unsettled because they know the Taliban would return with full force. Afterward, Gulab offers Marcus some food and water, and although he's still not sure why he's helping him, Marcus accepts it. Suddenly, the wall of the house is blown up and the village is attacked by the Taliban forces. Elsewhere, the United States base receives Marcus's letter and dispatches Apache helicopters to his location. Marcus and the villagers fight back the Taliban but quickly realize that they are outnumbered and outgunned. Regardless, they don't give up, and after a while, the American forces arrive just in time to turn the tables in their favor. Afterward, the American soldiers find a badly injured Marcus and rescue him, but he stops to thank Gulab and his son for saving his life. Back in the base, Marcus receives medical attention and undergoes surgery in tears. The story ends with the real-life lone survivor from Operation Red Wing, Marcus Luttrell, revealing that although a part of him died with his comrades, a part of him still lives on. That's all for today's recap. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.